Will home prices go up this year like 2020?
The real estate market was absolutely on fire during the second half of 2020. Buyer demand was way up, and the supply of homes available for sale hit record lows.
The price of anything is determined by supply and demand, so home prices skyrocketed last year. Dr. Lynn Fisher, Deputy Director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, also referred to as a FHFA, Division of Research and Statistics, explained, house prices nationwide recorded the largest annual and quarterly increase in the history of the FHFA Home Price Index. Low mortgage rates, pent-up demand from home buyers, and a limited housing supply propelled every region of the country to experience faster growth in 2020 compared to a year ago, despite the pandemic. A typical homeowner in 2020, just by being a homeowner, would have accumulated around $24,000 in housing wealth.
So, what exactly was the cause of this market? You know, the pandemic created this time of uncertainty for most Americans. And the best way that I've heard it described is there was a sense of urgency trumped uncertainty. In other words, it's kind of like the guy who finally retires and says, you know, I've always wanted to own a boat. I have the time and money to own a boat. I'm going to buy a boat. So what happened here was people said, I've always wanted to buy a home. I can afford to buy a home. I'm going to buy a home. We Americans felt an urgency to get closer to our families, an urgency to make our homes a safe and secure environment, and many of us felt the urgency just to live. So combine all of that with spending more time at home, and you begin to reevaluate your needs and wants. Whether it was, I want more room, I want to have outdoor living space, maybe even moving away from densely populated areas. And we've especially seen that here in the Inland Empire in our local mountain communities, where we sold a number of homes to folks who said, I always wanted to live in the mountains, I can work from home in the mountains, I'm going to buy a home in the mountains. For us personally, I've always wanted a pool. We finally could afford a pool, so we built a pool last summer.
The millennial generation makes up about 72 million members of the American population. And are their age between 25 and 40, which is generally the peak of homebuyers' ages. The millennials have baby boomer parents, and that's one of the largest populations of inherited wealth. So many of those baby boomer parents are willing to help their adult kids buy a home with a gift funds for down payment and closing costs.
Our own millennial daughter is in the process of buying a home with a little help from us, her boomer parents.
One of the biggest factors making home buying attractive is affordability driven by interest rates, which have been at historic low rates. So a lot of those folks have decided to make a move now, and they thought maybe now is the time to buy instead of continuing to rent.
And last, really impacting housing prices, ever decreasing low inventory. Year over year, the overall number of sales here in California was up a whopping 28%. It's been a time of, if you list it, it will sell. There were very few expired listings. People who may have wanted to sell held off placing their home on the market because they were concerned about safely selling their home. Or they thought, what if I sell and I can't find a place to buy or rent? Where will I go? The number of new home starts in California in 2020 was lower than in 2019. About 50,000 new single-family homes were started in 2020 as compared to 59,000 in 2019. That's an 18% drop. And multifamily unit starts, those were down even more, almost 28%. While year over year, the overall number of sales here in California was up a whopping 28%. It's been a time of, if you list it, it will sell.
Now, after all that, you're probably asking, well, what will happen with home prices this year? Many experts believe buyer demand will soften somewhat as mortgage rates are poised to bump up slightly.
Some also believe the inventory challenge will ease as more listings continue to come to market this year. Based on higher interest and more homes to sell, some forecasters are anticipating we'll see strong appreciation in 2021, but maybe not quite as strong as last year.
Now, if you are curious about the new value of your home or have had any thoughts of selling or buying, please give us a call today at 951-660-5926.